Welcome to the Foundry, made by Forge College. Huge congratulations on crushing your token sale capstone. You've deployed the contracts, you've set up the payable functions, and you've built out those refund flows. But today, in this explainer, we're going to look under the hood of what actually happens on the network when someone clicks buy. We are shifting our focus from the Solidity code you write straight to the underlying mechanical reality of how value actually moves across Ethereum.
All right, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. 1. The postal pipeline. 2. Inside the envelope. 3. The lifecycle stages. 4. The gotcha, reverts. 5. Tracing a buy transfer. And finally, 6. Key takeaways.
Section 1. The postal pipeline. Analogies for Ethereum value transfers. Before we get completely bogged down by raw cryptography and endless hexadecimal strings, we really need a solid mental model. Think of an Ethereum transaction not just as some abstract chunk of code, but as a physical, sealed, signed package. You pack it, you address it, and you sign it to authorize the whole thing. The Ethereum network acts as this massive postal pipeline that relays it. Then a miner or validator picks it up as your mail carrier, and finally the recipient unpacks it to execute whatever instructions you gave them. Honestly, it perfectly bridges the gap between digital state and a delivery system we all already understand.
Now, this right here is where a ton of developers get tripped up, so pay attention to the separation of concerns. We have the envelope phase and we have the execution phase. The envelope contains the rules, your digital signature, the sequence rules, and your postage limits. At this stage, it is just a claim that an action should occur. Literally nothing has happened yet. The execution phase, on the other hand, is the actual unpacking by the EVM, the Ethereum virtual machine. This is where the magic happens, resulting in state updates, changing balances, and emitted event logs. Mixing up the envelope and the unpacking is basically the #1 cause of debugging headaches.
Section 2. Inside the envelope. Decoding the payload. It's actually wild how perfectly the technical payload maps to a standard shipping label. Your nonce is just a sequence number that orders your packages and prevents someone from resubmitting or replaying your transaction. The gasLimit is your shipping budget, capping the maximum execution steps you are willing to pay for. Your maxFeePerGas dictates your priority in the sorting center. You want faster shipping? You pay a higher fee. The to and data fields are simply the recipient address and the specific instructions for the smart contract. And lastly, value is the exact amount of ether you've shoved into the envelope. Section 3. The lifecycle stages, from mempool to finality.
So how does that envelope actually move once it leaves your wallet? Here are the first 3 probabilistic steps. Step 1 is creation and signing, where you assemble those envelope fields we just talked about and lock them up with your private key. Step 2 is the broadcast to the mempool. Your signed package is now out in the wild network. Step 3 is inclusion in a block, which is where a validator selects your package and officially proposes a block containing it.
Let's actually pause on that mempool for a second. Picture it as a chaotic global sorting center. Transactions queue up here. They constantly get reordered, and they wait to be picked up based on fee priority. Just think of it like the trading floor of a stock exchange, but for mail. Bids are flying, and the highest bidder gets their package on the truck first. If your transaction seems to have vanished into thin air, it is almost always an issue right here in the mempool. It's usually just a postage fee that was set too low, or maybe a nonce gap where you accidentally tried to send package number 3 before package number 2. Trust me, it is rarely a broken smart contract at this stage. Okay, so once a carrier actually picks up your package and includes it in a block, we hit the final delivery steps. Step 1, EVM execution. The EVM actually rips open the package and executes your data. Step 2, receipts and logs are generated, which gives us a permanent record of exactly what went down. And step 3, network finality. Listen, it's incredibly important to remember that inclusion in a block is provisional. Until enough block confirmations accumulate, your delivery could technically still be reorganized. Section 4, the gotcha. Reverts or paying for failed deliveries. So here's a classic beginner question, and frankly, one you've probably sweat over while building your token sale. What actually happens if the transaction fails during the EVM execution? Let's say a require statement triggers, or an internal contract called just outright fails. Here is the painful punchline. The state rolls back, but gas is still consumed. Yep, the carrier still gets paid. Your recipient rejected the package, the contents were put back exactly as they were, like nothing ever happened, but you still had to pay for the delivery fuel. Why? Because the network still had to expend real computational energy to unpack it and attempt your instructions. It hurts, I know, that the mail carrier doesn't work for free just because your friend didn't want the gift.
Section 5. Tracing a buy transfer. Real-world execution. Let's tie all this theory to a concrete example from the very token sale capstone you just built. We'll trace the precise timeline of a 1 Ether buy order. At 0 seconds, you hit submit and sign the 1 ETH buy transaction envelope. By 3 seconds, it is propagated and is pending in the chaotic mempool sorting center. At 12 seconds, a validator selects it for inclusion in block B. Almost instantly, at 13 seconds, the EVM executes it and the state updates. Your tokens are credited. But you aren't totally done yet. It can take about 15 minutes for the reorg window to pass, giving you true rock-solid network finality.
This leads us to an ultimate diagnostic truth. The receipt is the primary artifact that transitions you from the envelope view to the state transition view. When you are tearing your hair out trying to figure out why a balance is wrong or a transfer failed, checking that receipt status and the emitted logs is absolutely the best way to debug what actually happened inside those internal contract calls.
Section 6. Key takeaways. Diagnostic principles. Let's bring all of this together with 4 golden rules you absolutely need as you continue your applied Solidity development journey. Number 1. Always confirm the failure stage first. Ask yourself, is it stuck in the mempool or did it fail during execution? Number 2. Rely on receipts and logs as your absolute, unquestionable evidence of what happened. Number 3. Never forget that reverted transactions still consume your gas. And number 4. Treat block inclusion as provisional until you have actually reached finality.
Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a slightly provocative thought. If a reverted transaction looks identical to a network failure at first glance, what are you assuming about your ops withdrawal patterns? It is a critical distinction that can literally make or break a smart contract security. Keep that bouncing around in your head as we prepare for our next lesson on comprehensive Ether handling and safe withdrawal designs. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. To dive deeper into this subject and explore other incredible Web3 topics, be sure to visit forge.college. See you next time.